What's going on, y'all? BBQ Dropout. If you want the written version, head on over to bbqdropout.com. And so if you're wondering, what brisket internal temp should be, or what the brisket internal temp should be after you finish resting it, I'd say anywhere between like 175 and like 165. And in terms of like how you get there, there's really a multitude of ways to get there, but my personal favorite is just to wrap it in like butcher paper and then put it in a ice cooler and just let it sit there for a few hours. And one of the reasons why you want to do that basically is like if you were to pull it off the smoker and just immediately start slicing into it, you think about it like you just pull the brisket off the smoker at like 200 degrees, and you don't just like cook a piece of meat up to like the done temp and then just immediately start slicing into it, because all that moisture that you work really hard to get by smoking it all that way is just going to frankly evaporate. And that's one of the reasons why you want to rest your brisket for any amount of time. And my personal favorite in terms of like the length of time to do that is like 3 to 4 hours, or like 3 to 6 hours. I'd say that's probably like a good estimate. You can go a little bit lower, a little bit higher, but on average I'd say between like 3 to 6 hours. But what you really want to do is either leave the thermometer inside the brisket and just put it either like back in an oven or something, or like in an ice cooler, or maybe even on the counter, and just put the thermometer in there and just have it kind of like constantly reading it. And then what that's going to do is basically tell you like what the internal temperature is going to be. And then once it hits 175 to like 165, that's when you can, in my opinion, start slicing into it. But don't do it before then, because even if you rest it for like an hour, regardless of what kind of like storage or like resting method you use, again, those temperatures are going to like start bombing the heck out of the moisture and like all the connective tissues and all that, like all the juices in your brisket. It's all just going to evaporate. And so that's why like whenever you go to like a brisket like barbecue shop or whatever, or like barbecue place, I'm here in Central Texas, a lot of them actually, they don't just pull the brisket off the smoker like and start slicing into it and serving to the customers. What you'll notice is that they actually pull it out of either like a warming oven or an ice cooler, and they just kind of hover the ambient temperature at around like 165 and just let that kind of ride there the entire day. And then that way when they pull it out, the brisket is at least 165 degrees internal. And so that's kind of like a little trick they do. And so if you start doing that for yourself as you smoke brisket or whatever, then that'll produce really good quality results. And as you do that, all the moisture is gonna like start seeping back into the meat. It's gonna come out pretty good. But anyways, I'll catch you on the next one.